One morning, Mighty Mac, Edward, and Molly were in the sheds when the Fat Controller came to see Mighty Mac and said,
"Mighty Mac, a new visitor has arrived on the island. His name's Mike, and he would like to meet you and see what you look like."
"Yes, sir," said Mighty, and then Mighty Mac puffed away. But when Mighty Mac arrived, there was Mike. Mike never seen an engine that looks like him before. "You must be Mighty Mac," said Mike. "Indeed I am," said Mac. "The second face of our engine body is me," said Mac. "The first one is me," said Mighty, "and together we're Mighty Mac," they said. "Really?" said Mike. But Mike was surprised now. Just then the Fat Controller came in and said this to Mighty Mac. I want you to work with Mike. I know that he is a visitor, but he would like to help you. Of course, said Mighty Mac. And so Mighty Mac puffed away, and so did Mike as well. So Mighty Mac was ready to teach. He was ready to teach Mike how to shunt those trucks. First, he said, "You shunt them quietly to make them think how much they like it. If they bump you," he said, "they'll bump you back." "You mean like that?" said Mike. "Nope," said Mighty. "Sorry," said Mike. "It's all right," said Mac. "Of course," said Mike. But the trucks didn't like what Mike did at all. They said, "We're going to pay him out. He bumped us." "It was an accident," said Mike, "and I'm sorry." But the trucks didn't care. They were cross with the visitor. "We'll pay him out again," they said. And so they decided, oh, this is bad. And so Mighty Mac moved into a different siding, and the trucks were bumping Mike. "Bump him off the rails," they said. "Help! Help!" said Mike. But just then, there was James on the turntable. James was about to get out to the shed when suddenly there was a crash, and then Mike and James crashed into one another, and the other trucks crashed into Mighty Mac. Deliveries were all everywhere, and it was a mess. "I think I've talked to you a little too well," said Mighty. And so James puffed away, and that in which what made him really grumpy. The mess was cleaned up. And so Mighty Mac had a lot of goods trained. And Mighty Mac had some coaches there, and Mike agreed to help him. "Then I will help you," said Mike. And so Mighty Mac decided to let Mike help him. And so Mike was ready, and the two engines were ready to go. "This visitor is a good engine. This visitor is a good engine," sang the coaches. "Well, he is," said Mac. "And a very kind one," said Mighty. And he was. And with that, they reached the top of the Grand Canyon, and they made it just in time. "We made it," said Mighty Mac. "I know we did," said Mike, and they were ready to go down again. Whoa! Hey! And they went down. Way! And they steamed faster and faster, and at last the passengers were home, and the Fat Controller said this to them:
"You have done very great teaching Mike. You have done a very great job, Mighty Mac," said the Fat Controller, "letting Mike help you with the passengers. And Mike, you have been a very good visitor to me, and I'm very proud of you both."
"Thank you, sir," they said. They were very good friends and very good engines on the railway.